Wait, which page you on?
I am Tiera.
You sure?
Oh no, I'm not. How did that happen? Because I wasn't on. I thought I was. Okay, now I'm on. Okay. Apparently, even though I turned my volume down, it went back up again. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out though. All right, so welcome to another episode of the Collective. I am Santua here with,
Tiera,
and once again, it's been a minute.
it's been a long minute.
What has been going on?
The most. The most. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I'll say on my end, kind of like just all over the place. Work, recovering from COVID, my uncle passing away, my birthday, just happened all around at the same time. But
When did your uncle pass? I think I remember seeing you post.
that was, I think, August 4th.
Oh, okay.
So that was just, it was an interesting time because I think that was probably like day 4 of kind of having COVID and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have it like really, really bad or anything like that. But at the same time, still going through it. And then I just got off of a very, very interesting men's Bible study. And I was like calming down from that because unfortunately some people just like to argue all the time. But maybe like 2 hours after that, I want to say like my cousin who I have not spoken to like in a while. I mean, I still like see her like on Facebook and social media and everything, but not speaking to her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when uh, when when I knew that she was calling me, I already kind of knew exactly what was going to be going on because he had terminal cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I already knew it was only just like a matter of time and everything. So I figured um, if she was calling me, then I already knew exactly like what the news was and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
it was difficult because I think even when all that happened, my mom, she was like in the bathroom, so I was just kind of waiting to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was trying to hurry up and rush her out of the bathroom so I could like tell her and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but granted, well, I'm glad that she didn't really take it like really really rough or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is just how God just speaks to people. Um, because she said she already kind of had a feeling that that was going to happen that day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So she said that she was at peace with it and everything. So that's why I guess like I'm glad I'm glad my mom is okay because now her mom, my grandmother, and my other uncle, her
So
brother.
this is your maternal.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So pretty much, um, this is like the last uncle that I kind of guess you can say like grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, so now it's just my mom, just from her immediate family and everything. So, and then I just realized the whole time frame of everything. So like my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, she passed away 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then I want to say my uncle, he passed away like 6 or 7 years ago. So I'm just thinking like this is just a quick turnaround like within everything. Like my grandmother was almost 90 and both of my uncles didn't make it out of their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So and my mom, she's about to be I think she'll be 60 next year.
Okay.
So just hoping all will be well, that's all. But
Yeah.
it's been me.
Well, my condolences to you and your family.
I appreciate it.
Mhm. Yeah. So, how are you taking?
Oh, I'm good. I will honestly say just being more involved in ministry and just honestly just having God more in my life. It's like I've been able to be more at peace with everything, especially if I knew um, the the person who did pass away, was like a believer in Christ and everything, gave their life to Christ and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole lot easier just because it's not like I'm not going to see them again then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, well, if they weren't living their life right or anything like that, or did not give their life to Christ or anything like that, and I mean, of course, God knows, but we don't know unless we kind of um, see it like clear and plain here on Earth. Then it's almost like we really don't know. But like with my uncle and everything, I knew he was, a believer. And he didn't necessarily show it all the time, but I knew he was a, believer and everything like that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'll see him again.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like when I do see him again, it's like yeah, I'm seeing him again forever. So it's not like it's just like another time period or anything like that. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, people have been supportive too. So surprised. I'm surprised by some of the people who actually reached out and everything like that too. So
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
yeah.
good. That is good. So, any new shows, any new interests that you've been involved in?
Like shows like watching.
Yeah, any new things that you really like right now?
Honestly, really not. I just been watching a whole lot of like Marvel stuff. Like,
Marvel?
yeah, I think
Oh.
I've probably watched everything I've wanted to watch.
Mm.
It's like I was telling one of my friends like yesterday. It's like this weird part in the summer where like nothing. I guess it's not a lot of what I like to watch all the time is coming on.
Mm-hmm.
So none of like the cop shows are really on, or like medical shows like Grey's Anatomy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing in sports right now is just baseball, but unless you actually go to a game, watching it on TV is just different.
I
So,
believe it.
what about you?
Well, I have been on this perfume journey like never before. Like, I don't know what has gotten me, but I don't want to say it's out of control, but it's just like something that surprisingly has captured my interest and my heart rate. So I'm just like on this road to discovery of different perfumes and learning and all of the, stuff, So yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised when I saw the YouTube videos pop up.
Really? Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's just been amazing. And even just to get people's opinions about some of my favorite fragrances is just like interesting, to see different people's tastes and everything and what their opinions are. So it's definitely fun. And it's like I've become a collector of perfumes now. So yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I think I'm trying to really do the same. Not perfumes, of course, but
Hmm.
yeah, because I was actually telling somebody else. It's like it's interesting when you receive like compliments, like
Hmm.
on how you smell and everything. People trying to ask like what you're wearing and everything,
Hmm.
and I always just kind of act like I'm totally surprised.
You're so stupid. Are you one of those type of people that like to, what's the word that people use now? Like, not cock block, but like, and excuse my language, but what is the other word? Door gatekeep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you one of those people that like to gatekeep, like on, like, if you find like something that like really is like nice or whatever, and you don't want people wearing the same
Oh,
thing?
definitely me. Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I can't. To me, it's like okay, so I guess it really depends, cause like say for instance, if I'm talking to like another girl or anything like that, and she's asking me like what I have on or anything like that, I
Hmm.
can't do it. Can't tell you that,
Why?
cause I
Especially
don't
if it's a cologne and a woman is asking
I
you,
don't need you giving another guy what I'm wearing.
but it's not going to smell the same on him.
Potentially, but still.
Well, I don't know. I don't mind telling people like what fragrances I like because I know that if you like it, that just lets me know that I have great taste. So, I mean, why not share? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. I don't mind. Yeah, it depends on certain things. Like, when it comes to clothing, I don't mind telling you where I buy my clothing from, but I kind of don't want you to have the same exact outfit that I have. Like you can have the outfit,
Mhm.
maybe a different color, but you want to have your look to be your look. So,
See, I can do that. I can't take it the exact same cologne, but I can tell you where I got it from.
okay. So you're more lenient when it comes to your clothing than cologne.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because it's like, well, 9 times out of 10, I don't think we're probably gonna be wearing the same thing.
Okay. What about barbers?
I
Like
would
if your
definitely
friend
do
needed a
that.
haircut, you
hmm
would mind. Okay.
I would definitely do that just because one, I know the feeling of not having the haircut you really want,
Mm-hmm.
and my barber, he's been cutting my hair since I was like 15.
Okay.
So when I went away to college and trying to find another barber, oh, it's tough.
Wow. Okay.
It's tough.
So That that's a good thing that you brought up because like a lot of people, like a lot of women right now are having a hard time like finding like hairstylists, like people are
Oh,
charging like an arm and a
y'all
leg or
hairstyles be wilding.
a hand and a neck for, a simple hairstyle. So like do you find that barbers are going up on their prices or you feel like they're still reasonable or the same?
I think it depends on who you're going to.
Okay.
So I want to say, like my barber, I think he's went up on his prices like 3 times.
So
And
how much for
for
a
I say this for me in the last 15 years.
Okay, when you go to the barber, like what do you get? What's your package?
I get I get a fade, and that's really it. So everything else is really all included, like
So the facial stuff.
included. So my barber, he's that gets popular.
Mm-hmm.
It's where he only works by appointments. So even like with him, it's like I want to say like when I first started going to him, he was only charging like $15, something like that, just for
Mm-hmm.
a regular haircut, and I didn't really have a lot of facial hair like at the time either. So that was that. Then I want to say he didn't necessarily go up on me personally because I just been with him so long to maybe I was, what was it? I was probably like a sophomore in college then at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a good like 6 years went by before he started saying, well, I'm gonna have to start charging you more now.
So what's the price?
Oh, that was so I'm getting to it.
Okay.
So it was like $15 at first.
Okay.
Then it went up to 25 because I had facial hair and everything. So he'd like just give me like a regular haircut, but then like trim and line my beard and everything.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think when it was 25, he was saying how if he wanted an appointment like at a certain time, because he was just getting that busy,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be $40.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when I was like, I'm gonna stick to 25. So if I gotta wait in this barbershop for a couple hours, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when that happened. But then I guess it got too chaotic then because he was still like writing people's names down the list, and he just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna do appointment only.
Okay.
So then at that point, this is probably we probably did that maybe like 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And really since then I've just been paying him like $40 and he does pretty much everything.
Okay.
So I can get haircut,
Mm-hmm.
beard, and like razor too. And that's really all that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I've seen with some of these other people, I'm like, it's just so unnecessary.
Like the Beijing stuff.
Definitely that. Well, first of all, it's my opinion. If your barber has to do all of that, it's either
Mhm.
something wrong with your haircut or they really can't cut hair. Because
Okay.
my barber does none of that. And it's like, even if you do that, you can't get a haircut in the rain. It's gone. It's
Yeah.
when you step outside.
Yeah.
So, because a matter of fact, I think I've had that done to me like twice. The first time I didn't even know that was really going on because I was in college at
So
the
you
time.
didn't ask for it, they just did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, wow, my haircut looks really nice and
Yeah.
everything. And then I
Okay.
had got outside and started sweating. And I think I was like scratching my head or something like that. And I was like, what's this in my hand? And then I look in the mirror. I said, wait, what is this?
Well, that's just rude.
I said, this man spray painted my hair.
That is so rude. Like, Oh my God. He tried to set you up for failure for
So
real.
then when I saw that, oh, I immediately wiped it off, and I
Mm-hmm.
never went to him again because I was like, this is crazy. Actually, no, I think that was probably the second time. I probably didn't notice it the first time. I was like, "Wow, he just know how to cut hair and everything."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, "Nah, it's just not for me."
Yeah.
But seeing like, I think like one of my friends, he pays like $100 a haircut,
Mm-hmm.
but he stays in Dallas, and I think with them, they do like the whole like wash your hair and all that, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need all that. I
Yeah.
don't need all that. I can wash my hair for free
Yeah.
with my own stuff.
Especially since y'all's hair be like this big. So like, you know, yeah.
But I will say is compared to women, at least it's more consistent because
Yeah.
you know what you're getting and everything like that. They're not gonna like do nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Because
I
I've
think
I've heard some stories and I'm surprised.
yeah, I think the trend now is well, first of all, women are going back to perm. Um, and the other thing is that women are deciding to go back to the beauty salon versus just these Instagram hairstyles. So that is the current solution that people are starting to say on TikTok is to go to a beauty salon where the prices seem to be more reasonable and you will get a full service. You'll get shampoo, blow dry, braid, whatever you need. So yeah.
Because even for me, like growing up, I thought that was just my whole understanding. No matter who
Mhm.
you're going to, it's like if you're getting your hair done and you need to have your hair washed to get your hair done properly, like wouldn't that just be a part of the whole service?
Right.
Because like for really for like for men and everything like that, I mean, besides if you have like dandruff or anything like that, it's not like you really need all that done to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's the only thing that's really mandatory is I know like a lot of people use like grease in their hair and everything.
Mm.
You gotta get all that stuff out like beforehand
Yeah.
because that's like a little different.
So what would you say that self care looks like for me?
It really just depends. Like I think nowadays is I think I guess like you would just want to go basic, it's just getting a haircut. If you
Hmm.
want to go like next level up, it's um like haircut, then like manicure and pedicure. Then if you want to go
Do
up,
you get manicures and pedicures?
I did.
That was a big. Go ahead.
So not I was actually telling someone else this today. Like I did, but then it's like that's like expensive like every 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So I think I just kind of like stopped momentarily to kind of like put my money towards like other things like paying off bills and saving
Hmm.
everything because I'm like I ain't going to see nobody. So, but yeah, I think like really like all last year I kind of did it. Well, all second half of last year that's what I did.
Okay.
Like, but yeah, it did add up like pretty quickly. It's like it can quickly become like another bill.
So do you think, okay, so with men, like is self-care just a haircut or I mean, what are some of the things that men do that's considered self-care?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot. So,
Really?
hmm
Okay.
could be like getting new clothes, getting new shoes. Really,
Definitely working out. A lot of them like to work out.
yeah, working out. I would honestly say, and it could be is you can take it however you want to, but it's really like hanging out like your friends. Like I know, especially like with guys now, even for me, I'm getting like more comfortable like talking to like my guy friends and everything like that.
Mhm.
Just kind of hanging out with them, but always kind of telling them, like that, that you love them and everything. If they ever need anything, hit me up and everything because we're not really used to doing that like a lot.
Right.
So I think even for me, I think that's like a form of self care too.
Hmm.
But really, I just honestly think just trying to do better. Like even could be um, like talking to a therapist. So I think like a lot of it, it's not so much physical anymore; it's really mental.
Do you feel like um do you feel like a lot of men are more in tune with their mental health or mental or their feelings and emotions now? Um, or you feel like people are still suppressed?
I think it's both because it's
You got people.
Hmm?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay, so
When it comes to men, do you
uh-huh.
think that they're suppressing right now, or do you think that they are really trying to get to like the root of things?
So that's what I was saying. I think it's really both. I think some are doing that, but to me, how social media is such a heavy influence,
Mhm.
like in our day to day lives, it's almost like some guys aren't necessarily like really like at that point to where they are ready to let go of what could be bothering them. So especially when it comes to dating, I say that just for me personally.
Mhm.
Um, not that I am going through this, but I can tell some other guys could be going through just because all the different expectations there is now. To where it's
What are
like,
some of those expectations?
ooh, like I seen some stuff like pretty much like paying for things like outside of dates. Like I got to pay for you to get your nails done, your hair done, your
Oh, so you're
bills.
saying from the woman's expectations.
Right? Yeah. So it's like I didn't know that was like a thing. I'm just thinking like if we're like casually going out and everything like that, then it's like I mean of course like I can like I guess picking up is different just because safety things, but like getting you flowers or like paying for the date, I'm just thinking like uh that would be the normal.
Mhm.
Like if we're not like in a
In a
relationship
relationship.
together.
So, but don't you think that's the man's fault then? For
What do
who
you
they
mean?
choose to date then?
Yeah, well, yes, I would say that. I'm just saying, just as far as like the trend right now in social media is that's really it. It's, I mean, well, I said is that's what I'm seeing like on social media a lot. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if it's really happening like that because I say it ain't happening with me. I'm sorry, I'm not paying your bills.
Mhm.
Not when we're not in a relationship. It's just not gonna happen for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's almost like that's the strange thing is like that's like the expectation now.
Okay, so when we're talking about self care for men and like
Hmm.
them getting to the root of things, how are we tying that into
That
expectations for women?
so it is. I guess like what you're trying to grow into, like especially everyone's really trying to get ahead now. Everyone's trying to get like the money together and everything like that. Everyone's
Mhm.
trying to get like their family together.
Mhm.
So it's if you're gonna be a man who's a provider and everything like that, of course you want to set yourself up for success then.
Mhm.
So it's not only managing like your own personal expectations and what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
So if like even if it's like I want to be better like within my own family, I got to deal with that. Even if you're trying to, get yourself prepared like for marriage, or even if you are married now and you're trying to just be, a better husband or father or anything like that, you gotta, do the work yourself to get prepared for that.
What does that look
What do you mean?
like? What does that look like prepared to for marriage or preparing to like be a better husband or whatever?
I think it's well, I
What
say
does that look like as a man? Like, what do you picture? Like,
I think it is before you really try to put your focus on anybody else at that point. It is well, I think it's well. I'll explain what I think it should be. I think it should be that before you put your focus on anybody else, you really try to work on yourself. So if you know there's things that you're dealing with,
yeah.
um, like really trying to work all those different things out.
Mhm.
That's why I say I think some guys are suppressing things and some
Mhm.
people are really letting them go because they are either talking with professionals or at least
Yeah.
talking within people who they trust.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important. Um, I do feel like a lot of people are just not ready to like really sit down and do the work,
Mhm.
and whatever work that is like whatever is helping you to be a better person. But and that's where that suppression comes in. But you can't grow if you choose
Right.
not to deal with those things and work through them. And I think with men, it seems like, and I could be wrong, but I think with men, it's like if they don't handle their feelings, they take it out so brutally on women,
Correct.
like very harsh way, you know what I mean? So it's just like And with women, it's almost like they just become lap dogs. Like they don't know what they're supposed to handle. Like they can just let people run all over men, run all over them. So I think that's definitely interesting. The difference between the two.
Because I think about it may sound a little weird, but you know how like we consume food, we consume like liquids and everything like that. Whatever we consume still has to be released in the form
Mm-hmm.
of like using the bathroom and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
If it does not get released, then it's almost like that's then becoming toxic to your own body.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the same thing with anything else. Like if we're consuming a whole lot of negative things and we aren't releasing them in the right way, then eventually it's going to come out as toxic.
Yeah.
So especially within relationships, just because it's like unfortunately, like we as human beings, we really tend to take out what's really bothering us on the people that's closest to us. And
Yeah.
in the end, that's when we end up hurting them. And now you have people feeling a certain way about us,
Right.
about yourself and everything. So,
Yeah. And I've experienced that myself, not in a relationship, but just well, in a relationship, but just with just like a family member. No, I just feel like if you're around somebody that is making you feel, you know, if they're toxic,
hmm
um, but you love them, you want to be there for them, you want to support them. I think after a certain point, it's necessary for you to kind of like look at yourself because you're allowing the person to like the toxicity to get rub off on you.
hmm
And it's like, you know, no matter how much you love them, you still have to respect yourself. And like I said, you don't want to be anybody's lap dog or whatever, um, just allowing people to treat you any type of way. And that could be, that could be your parents, that could be, your sister, your brother, whoever, you know what I mean? And so I just feel like at this point in my life, I'm just trying to kind of focus on me and kind of get to know myself a little bit better. Like I kind of expressed, what happened with my sister. Well, since the last episode, I didn't tell everybody. My sister passed away. And so that was shocking. And it's still like a lot of unknowns and everything. And so I just feel like since that happened, like this is my time to just focus on me because I've been so like focused on everybody else, trying to help everybody else out, trying to be there for everybody else. And I pretty much lived my whole life like trying to help other people. And I just feel like this is my time to just focus on me. And even though that might hurt somebody or, hurt people, I just feel like I want to be selfish with myself for a moment. And it's just allowing me to kind of get to know myself more, get to know who I am and how strong I am, and um, face some fears I have because I realize that I do have fears, and getting to the bottom of like why I feel those ways, like why am I afraid of this, why am I afraid of that. So yeah.
even then, like I don't think that's necessarily selfish. I think that's self care. Just because it's almost like if I'm conditioned to you, uh, if I'm conditioned that you're always like here and caring for me, and when I see you start to do that, then it's almost like now my viewpoint of you is selfish when it's not that really like at all, especially if you're trying to just take time for yourself and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really we really have to like really look at things too. Just
Mm-hmm.
because someone's not doing like what they used to do does not mean that that you've lost care for them or anything like that. But it's
Right.
almost like I can't care for you when you got to do like your own part too.
Right.
Because like I mean I've learned that lesson heavily with my own mom and everything. It's like I can't necessarily always be there for you in the ways of which you want to.
Yeah.
Not when I'm still trying to build and get my life together.
Right.
Because even then, I can just look back, like especially like in my 20s now. It's like I was trying to do so much,
Mm-hmm.
like always on go and everything. And even now, it's like it's even hard for me to like rest. So even like when I had like COVID like 3 weeks ago, it was I'm so used to like ripping and running and doing this and doing that. And it's like I'm really forced to rest, and if I don't rest, like my body's just gonna react. Like I have to really learn to like I just can't really do all of what I've been doing before. And even then, it's like um, even with, like say for instance like with different job or ministry assignments, which is pretty much one and the same now. It's the same thing. It's like y'all just gonna have to really figure it out because if I don't take care of myself, then no one else is.
Yeah. And I feel like, it's not fair for other people to, expect you to always be there for them all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm 35 years old. I'm just getting to this point where I'm like, look, I'm gonna focus on me. And that's sad. Kind of makes me sad. Like, I just feel like, I should have been there like maybe around 28, 27, and I'm not to say that I'm old, but I just kind of feel like, yo, like I'm 35 and I'm just now being able to live life on my terms. And I live by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have anybody, I don't have children, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, you know, I feel like it's a little sad that it had to, like, I had to be this age for that to happen.
See, another thing I would say I disagree with is because no, we're not always going to learn everything what we need to know at the age in which we want to. Like even now, like I was really thinking like a lot about like my 20s. Is just that I'm thinking that I had to have all the answers like right now, and when I didn't, it's almost like I was really really being hard on myself. But now I realize it's like I'm not gonna know everything. I'm not gonna learn everything really as fast as other people. And same goes like for others too. Not, we are going to learn different lessons at different times in our life and everything, but nothing to be sad about or down about just because it to me, no matter what age we do, as long as we do learn the lesson, then it's cool. Even if it takes you a little bit longer than what others like may have. Because I mean, it's just to me that's just life. Like I don't even have everything figured out now. What I know, and what I don't know, I'm still just trying to learn.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Yeah. I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything to add to that.
So I'll ask you this then. So what do you think God has been speaking to you about, like the last couple of months?
Um, that, this is a transformation season for me. It's time, it's almost like being isolated, but, just for transformation purposes, just to get to know myself more, to be more introspective and just look at all of the things that happened in my life up until this point and all of the people, like the players and, you know, what it's shown me. And just to keep my faith in God, to remain strong in Him because, like the Bible says, like, we walk by faith and not by sight. And some things that happen in your life can kind of like completely take you off, like, can completely surprise you, you know? And it's like, with those things, like me being a believer, it kind of makes it worse because it's like, God, that's not what you said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't tell me that my sister was gonna pass away at 27, at 26. She was about to be 27. Like, you didn't tell me she was gonna be diagnosed with illness. You didn't tell me that, you know, that we still don't. I don't know. Like, you didn't tell me all of these things, and yet, I'm your daughter, and like now it like forces me to choose, like, do I want to continue to be you know close to you, or do I want to you know just kind of like give up on not my dreams but this whole idea of who God is to me, But, for me, I can't just give up on God like that because I know He's real. You know what I mean? But it's almost like a testing season where you just kind of feel like, like what is my life now? Like it's like there's a whole lot of stuff to learn, and nobody can like help you to learn these things. Like these are things that you have to learn on your own, And so I just feel like God is just molding me and shaping me, and I just have to have faith that it will work out. Um, so yeah, that's where I am.
It's good. It was honestly, I've learned a lot through my uncle's death
Mm-hmm.
because like I haven't had. I think really the last family member that I've had to pass away that was really like gets like close to me was
Mm-hmm.
my other uncle, and that was probably like 15, 2016. So it's been a minute and everything.
Yeah.
So one of the things, this is actually from Pastor Jose at Word of Faith. He sent me an email. I forgot all of what he was saying, but he was pretty much saying, um, even though that we want, even though we don't want to like deal with these things, like with death and everything, everyone must go through this door. And I guess he was really saying, I mean, not of course like dying or anything like that, but even for the people who have to like deal with death and everything like that. And it really opened my eyes just because even though we don't want to deal with it, or even though we think it may not happen as on our time and everything, it's like we still do have to kind of go through it. But then he was saying, even at the same time, God is still going to be with you and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I never even really kind of thought about that. And even for me, it's like I'm going to like my uncle's funeral and everything like that. Honestly, from the day that he died um, until like the day of his funeral, I didn't cry at all about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was actually going to his like gravesite where I actually like really kind of finally cried and everything. Just because to me, it's like this to me makes it real.
Mm-hmm.
Like the funeral was great. The viewing and everything like that was just surreal because I'm like I've seen you just so alive, and now looking at you like this is just totally different now. Or even thinking about you like this is
Right.
totally different now. Um, but then it's almost like God just kind of can step in when you least expect it too. I mean, He may take people away when you least expect it, but He can also step in when you least expect it too. So even um, at my uncle's funeral, it was really great to see everything just kind of come together. Like coming off of COVID and everything like that, everyone in the congregation got on masks. I'm like, thank God, because
You are so stupid.
that it wasn't really anybody acting crazy or foolish or anything. Even how people want to say remarks and they taking way too long or this is
Mm-hmm.
not part of the program. Nobody really did that. Even with your celebration of life too. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope nobody is go
No,
acting.
they did. They did. That lady was doing a whole new version of Mary Baptist Church on
Well,
behalf of the so and so and so and so. This is signed by so and so. Yeah, I'm gonna say it because it was a little extra. I'm just saying it was a little extra. But go ahead.
well, I'm saying okay. Well, besides her, like
Okay.
in my opinion, and everything like that, everything else went like
It's flow.
smoothly.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what you want. You want funeral celebration of life to be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the person who really preached like my uncle's like eulogy and everything, excellent. Like I could not think of better um, a better like eulogy. Like I really couldn't because I mean again like my uncle he was believer and everything like that, but it's not like he kind of showed it all the time. But some of the things that he was saying, because he was saying he used to kind of visit him, I guess, like when he was like really, really sick and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he said was, what my uncle said was, I guess as he's, going through the ups and downs of cancer and everything, it's like he was saying, I just want to cry. But at the same time, God is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, for him to be going through that and pretty much kind of know that, the end is near, for him to say that, it's like, to me, that's remarkable that people can really, to me, like have that much faith in that time.
Yeah, I mean, that statement is
Hmm.
true. Um, that was the first thing that just being honest, like for me, I think because me and my sister were so, so close, um, that's not like the first thing that comes to mind for me. It's more so like just a whole question, you know?
Hmm.
And so yeah, I don't know how close he was or you are to your uncle.
Hmm.
Are y'all close?
Yeah, well, so I grew up in Memphis, but he lived in Humboldt, which is probably like an hour and a half away, like from Memphis. So I didn't get to see him all the time. But when I did visit, like it wasn't like any love lost, like at all. So
That's
it's
good.
like, yeah. So with him and his brothers, I would say those are really my two closest uncles, just because one I just kind of just found out about within the last 10 years. I can't remember when.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, he's pretty much been in jail my whole life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the two my two uncles who I was closest with, yeah, it was really them two. And I always kind of like show me love, show me a good time and everything like that. So yeah,
Oh, that's good.
and really to me, especially growing up as like an only child too, really kind of taught me like really what family is supposed to be like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely appreciative of the service that at Word of Faith, like the people who actually, you being one of them, helping to serve the whole celebration of life and just everybody who kind of made that whole thing happen. Because it's a lot of pressure for me to try to put together my portion of the stuff for my sister and having to go to, the cemetery and go talk
Hmm.
to the people, and talk about money and, pick out, different
Hmm.
things. Just kind of like, that was a lot, And then, when you're being cussed out by your family, like your mother, like I just felt like I was just like, it kind of just took me to a place where it was just like, oh, like, I don't want to be like I'm trying to help you. I think, everybody's like grieving their own way, but it's
Hmm.
like I just felt like a lot of issues like got brought back to the surface.
Hmm.
That some of the stuff that some of my memories,
Hmm.
like I kind of like pushed them back. Like I forgot about some of the stuff that as a child like that I went through, and so I just felt like when that happened, it kind of like made stuff rise to the surface. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that feels like. And then I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, so I don't want to go through that no more, and I'm gonna not gonna allow anybody to do that to me anymore. So for me, it's just like that's what I mean when I'm saying, just focusing on me, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's crazy that it took that situation kind of to do that. But like I said, everything happens for a reason and timing. So yeah.
Was it like for you like a lot of I can't believe I'm actually like going through this right now?
Yeah, because it was like shocking because my sister left one day and then, you know, fam- some of her family members, or one family member, she was around and she left them and then her body was discovered somewhere. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And it was just like, out of all of the stuff that you see on TV, like you never think that that's going to be your story or somebody close to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of reminded me of the young lady that was, she was in the army, and
I
she
think I
was
remember
like,
talking about.
yeah, I forget her name, but she was, she was like Latina, and this
Was it in
guy,
Texas?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like in Fort Hood or something like that, and this guy was sexually harassing her, and she kept, no, and then her body was found chopped up and everything, and it was just like, yo, all of this because she said no, like, and just thinking about families that have lost somebody in that way, where like you don't know like all of the details, and it's probably for your best not to know the details, but at the same time, it's like it makes you question so many things, and then you question God because it's like, God, like, and then it's like you just have to just keep moving forward, knowing that you won't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, it just kind of makes me think, like, don't think that that it can never be you. Like, don't think that what you see and hear won't ever come to your doorstep because, like, nobody is like untouchable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just dealing with some of those things, and then also just by me being her sister and seeing everything that she went through, the whole mental illness thing, that kind of made me feel like kind of fearful of being a mother because I don't want to like deal with that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my kids to be like, what if they have the same thing? You know what I mean? And then it's just like I have to go through that all over again. So it's a lot of different things that I'm like kind of
Processing.
processing and trying to like deal with those things in a healthy way. So so yeah.
It's understandable. Like as you're talking about, well, one thing is I'm probably gonna start researching, start praying about is I know for us, like we really just have it's really like a strong desire to get the answers. Like of course, like with your sister and everything like that, you weren't there, and I'm pretty sure you just want like to know and everything like that. Or even know from God like some questions like you just haven't received the answer to yet. But I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about that too, just because it's just so many things that I have questions about too. And it's just like
Yeah.
again, it's like we're just kind of told to
It's like
keep pressing on.
right, exactly. And it's like some situations that you go through in life will really test your faith. Like because you really you can believe it. You can believe in God and you can like really be close to God and something happen in your life that just kind of like make you like look twice at God.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like really? Like what's going on here? And so now it's almost like you kind of have like more of a understanding why people are atheists or are, kind of like standoffish towards God because it's like some people have lost their parents at a young age. Some people have, gone through some really heinous things, and you know, it kind of makes you have like a sympathy for them. You know what I mean? Because you know what that's like. Yeah, you know how it feels. So yeah,
Very, very wild.
yeah,
I was even telling one of my coworkers the other day, it's like I'm still learning on how to be a minister because again, I wasn't, you know, 7, 8 years old and people asking, what do you want to do, for a living or, with your life and everything like that. I wasn't saying I want to be a minister
mm-hmm.
at all. And even then, um, all of my career plans have not worked out how I want to.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's almost like, well, I got ordained as a minister at 29 years old, and I'm like, this is not part of my plans. So even then, it's like moving forward is I don't know what to do in the future just because, again, this is not my plan.
Well, you know, ministers have other jobs, Don.
I know. I'm just saying, it's like it's
And it
almost
was
like
part of your plan.
oh, it definitely was not. It definitely was
Maybe
not.
not in the broad scheme of things, but you wanted to.
I wanted to really just be able to serve people well. At its basic. That's all I wanted to do.
Do you
Ain't
feel like being in ministry is like stretching you or like really kind of like showing?
yes,
Okay. Is
it
it
definitely is.
positive?
Um, yeah. Well, ultimately it is. Some of it is negative, but it's negative just because how I kind of handle things. Because I always go back and it's not that I have like regrets or anything like that, but it's like I look back and say I could have handled this differently. But again, it's like I ain't trying to be nobody's pastor.
Mm-hmm.
People asking me, you looking to be a bishop, and I'm like, no, I don't get who really wants all that responsibilities because even even in God's word it says you're gonna get looked at a little bit more strictly than other people just because of the role that you play.
Mm-hmm.
So not saying that I'm like worrisome about that or anything like that, but at the same time it's like that's a lot of responsibility because you pretty much is like God is saying I'm entrusting you with a lot of people's lives and everything like that. Ultimately, they're all in my hands and everything like that, but they're your responsibility too. So I'm like, well, even for me now, it's like, nah, it's just not like a career aspiration for me and everything like that. But some people, for whatever reason, want to make that a career, and I'm like, well, for me, it's just different because I know some people don't have um, the same reason for wanting to do that. They want to be a career pastor so they can make sure that they have income coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, to me, that's totally the wrong way to look at it. But unfortunately, we have some people who take advantage of the people like
I
that.
think I'm
Excuse
really, uh, and this has nothing to do with anything personal in my life that's going on, but I'm
me.
really disappointed in a lot of pastors right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really am. There's been a lot of scandals and a lot of stuff that I've been seeing, and I'm just like so disappointed because I was one of those girls that was like, you know, people be like, well, the pastors be stealing people money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever, because blah, 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 blah. You know, like, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
really like taking, you know, like taking up for, you know, the church and everything. And not to say that that is the majority because it's not. But, you know, I do feel like some of the things that I've been hearing and seeing have been very like disappointing and it kind of makes me not see church the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's just the times that we're living in right now. I think right now a lot of people are so like money, like I think a lot of people are focused on money and the amount of parishioners and stuff like that, and huge mega churches, and how can they get bigger and more and more and more and more, and it's just like it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So even then, it's almost like
it's getting cold here.
I'll say just because that is happening, to me, it's almost like even if you are doing the right thing, you're still met with the same ridicule just because of other people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll always be ridiculed, but don't like give people a reason to be, you know,
Right.
like don't prove people right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I'm just like so. I think it
So,
was
because I was gonna say this. So
okay.
if, say for instance, if I was a pastor, started a church, in a couple of years, church is really growing. Now we're at mega church status,
Mm-hmm.
and I could just have a regular job too.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know,
At mega church status, you're not gonna have no regular
I
job.
know. Okay, well, I can have a separate income away from the church and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. I could say I've never taken a dime from this church.
Mhm.
But then next thing you know, people are gonna start saying, well, he's taking money from the church. He's
Yeah,
taking
but
this
it's
and
different. But when you have like whole scandals where people's
that.
babies and children are being taken, when people's children, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna come out here. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I ain't hear about it. You stole somebody's baby. Period. You stole somebody's baby. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all can go ahead and look it up and Google it. You know what I'm saying? People out here stealing babies, and you know, very well connected to church and stuff. So that's the dude smeared spit on the man's face, on his brother's face. Okay, like it's just so many different things that have happened that just kind of make me just be like, man, what are y'all doing out here? Like seriously, like this isn't even like this is like I don't know, it's just crazy. But I just gotta focus on myself. I try not to let that completely change my view of people, but it kind of does influence
I can see
how I
that.
see things.
One thing I can say though, just me personally, is that God does give a lot of grace.
Yeah.
He gives a lot of grace, to honestly, that even we as people do not give. So it's like we don't know how many times God has really given us like grace and mercy.
Mhm.
And just when it's almost like I forget what's the verse. Something I can't think of. I'm paraphrase. Sing or trying to take out or sing
The plank in your eye.
yeah. I can't think of it. I can't think of the words. I know it's like your eye. I was trying to figure out the other part and everything.
Yeah.
But it's really like that, just because it's almost like, and this is really to me what God has kind of humbled me about, like recently, is you're not really too far up to think that it can't happen to you either.
No, I completely understand and I totally agree. However,
Mm-hmm.
we're not stealing people's babies. I'm just saying, like, we're not stealing people's babies from them and trying to adopt them as our own. Like, that's not what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I understand grace and but I think that also too, we as a church have to hold people accountable for the stuff that they say, especially now it's coming back to me everything that I've seen. So even with, what's that singer lady that was on there? Okay, in this 2 minutes, I'm gonna explain what I'm saying. What's her name? The singer that was calling people ugly in the church and saying that,
Kim Burrell.
y'all ugly, y'all can't afford nothing, blah 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 blah.
You
That stuff, like, I am just like, are you kidding me right now? And I kind of feel like, sometimes we can be up people's behind so much that we just don't hold them to a certain standard. Like, where are her friends? Where are people at to say, yo, you out of line, you out of pocket? Like, where they at?
I think to me that's the whole power of, well, one, power and money. Just because it's almost like I can say something to you, but then it's like I'm fearful that you may cut me off. You may cut off a lot of
Exactly. Are we gonna
opportunity.
come back on the live? I feel like
You want to keep it going?
I want to come back.
Okay, yeah. Let's.
Okay,
I'm
we'll
gonna stop
come
it now.
back, y'all.